if you want.
Hey folks, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, and today I got Rep Ruck in the house with me today. We're going to be talking about some augmented reality. He's involved with a project called STAG, Southern Transatlantic Gaming.
Gaming.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, it's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And so you guys have some samples that you've put out there and shown, and you made a beholder, then had to blow it up and make something else.
We still have it.
Yeah,
It's in the background.
yeah, an eyeball of eyeballs, and which it actually looked really decent. And you guys have done some other things too. There's buildings, and did you do a windmill too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a windmill.
There's a couple of different things going right now, and I want to say the right one for the right group of people.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to have a broad thing of stuff. We've got what we're calling the human village, which is the kind of medieval style houses and the windmill. But then we're also working on an orc barbarian type thing. Then we're thinking about doing some elf stuff maybe, and we also got some sci-fi stuff for your Starfinder games or whatever you want in that direction. And then we're also making some monsters. We've got a dragon now, we've got a gelatinous cube, and then we have a demon as well.
Ooh, so
Yeah.
so what is your role in this project, and then I guess we'll go into like how big is the team?
Yeah. I guess my role, we're very collaborative. We work together. I'm not so much on the technical side of things. That's Casper. But the big thing is we come together and we figure out where we want to go on things, come up with ideas, and also I'm handling a lot of the business side, figuring out all that kind of stuff. So Casper can focus on the technical side of things and getting all that done, not bothered with anything other than that, for the most part.
And that's really important, is those support people, because there's so many things when you put together a project like this or anything that goes on and people aren't aware of it. The only thing they'll be aware of is when it doesn't happen. So the support people are very important. I mean, even from what YouTube creators do or influencers do is, people will see like 10 minutes of content and be like, oh, they did 10 minutes of content. But no, there's a lot, hours go into that 10 minutes. And, then it's like, hey, getting people to actually find the thing you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, getting the message out there, getting the word out there has been a big part of my job. And also just coming up with, he's more of a war gamer, but he loves watching, tabletop stuff. But I kind of come from or role play stuff, excuse me. So I kind of come from the role play side, and we've been working together and figuring out what both sides will want, and just coming up with those right ideas for what to give the community.
Frigginator's like, it figures this sort of stuff would come to the forefront after dropping nearly $1,000 on minis.
Yeah, well, that is a part of why we're doing this, is because if you're a poor college student, you don't have thousands of dollars to drop on minis and stuff. But yeah, no, it's also convenience. Just being able to take stack of our targets, our cards, and just boom, have a village ready to go.
So how did you get involved with the project?
Well, I guess probably y'all. I'll credit y'all a little bit. You and the other Dungeons, Dragons, and roleplay channels on YouTube kind of got me deeper into the hobby. And then I decided, I want to make my own game. And from there, I joined a bunch of pages that kind of help with that stuff. I was trying to figure my own thing out, and that's how I met Casper, who's doing our programming. He was working on a augmented reality war game at the time, and we kind of got together, shared ideas, figured things out. Then I got my brother involved, and we've just been collaborating for a while now, figuring out this idea.
So right now, I guess in order to use it, you have the targets, you place them out, and then you would have to look through some, like a device, either your phone
Right.
or an iPad or something like that with an app on it, and then then that kind of reads the target.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that technology, does that kind of work like a code reader?
A little bit. The example I always tell people is it's like Pokemon Go, except you have the target. The Pokemon doesn't like jump around randomly like it did if you played Pokemon Go or your kids did. Or like Snapchat that uses your face as the target. So those are the two most popular examples of augmented reality. Also, if you're in the comments, STAG devs should be there answering questions. So if you have a question, throw it at them. I think they should be there.
So TrueMate, question: any more D&D monsters in the works? Gelatinous cube looks awesome. Yeah. So also, I want to say you've been posting in Company of the Nag, the Nerdarchy group, different developments also that are being posted on your page. Which there's a link to your Facebook page as well as your YouTube channel in the or not in the comments, in the description, so you guys can check out and follow along there. Zareth also said, is this for all role-playing games? Yeah, this would be system agnostic or neutral. It would be more about genre than anything.
Yes. We are going to include one set of sci-fi stuff, just cover that base, but we'll make more, and we definitely want to hear from the community and see what people want. Other monsters we're working on at the moment is we've got a giant worm coming, so it'll be like coming out of the target, like coming out of the table. So it's I've seen preliminaries, it looks really good. And then a flail snail, because who doesn't love flail snails? They're all over medieval art, and we're all history nerds, so we're like, flail snail, yes.
So I do have a question. Like, say I want to field orcs or goblins. Am I going to be able to put out one target for a bunch of them, or do I need to put out each individual target? Or will you do something where here's an individual monster, but here's a block of the monsters?
We're working on the blocks of monsters. We fiddled with that idea. Right now, we're just doing big monsters. We're doing things that are,
centerpieces,
large, huge type things. I know we were talking about it before we started, the epic encounters I ran for y'all, like a year or two ago?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably closer
small channel.
Yeah. It's probably closer to 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. So yeah, but for like those big encounters with that, where you're finally fighting the dragon you've been hunting, when you come up to the demon lord, we want to have that piece out for you.
Have you put a lot of thought into how it's going to actually integrate with gameplay itself?
Yeah, we're gonna definitely. I know one thing we're planning is once we release it and get going, we're definitely going to do some, not so much how-tos, but just how we use the app, and then we're going to go reach out to the community and see how they're using it. And one thing we like is, because it's individual targets for most of the stuff, you don't always have to be looking through your phone.
Because that's what I'm envisioning, right? Like everyone at the table, like looking at the table with their phone.
Yeah, you can be like, the dungeon master sets up the town that he wants y'all in, and you're like, I want to go to the blacksmith shop. Instead of asking your DM to point to the, rectangle that they scribbled out on the mat, like usual, they just, you just hold your phone up. Oh, right, that's the blacksmith shop. Or you hold up, like, right, a demon. That's what we're fighting. And we definitely want to add more connectivity to it, but we want to get something out there, get it in people's hands, and get them something good.
So the questions are starting to come in. And DM Don, any thoughts about setting it up so that you buy a size creature, then buy additional skins for it?
We are thinking about allowing people to change the skins and stuff. I believe we're going to put that in some of our stretch goals, because we are planning on going to Kickstarter here in about 4-ish days. And so, yeah, skins are definitely going to be an idea that we want to implement, whether it's you changing the buildings a little bit. I know we've had a lot of people ask about destructible terrain. So you put out a building, and then you're like, oh, that building's, the wizard cast fireball. The buildings are now on fire.
That would be really sweet.
But also being able to change the color of the monsters and things like that.
Oh, I love it. The questions are coming in like machine gun fire at this point.
How many people are in the chat right now?
We got like 40 people watching.
All right, nice.
So Next Level 88 wants to know what's the business model. Subscription based, pay per monster. So actually, to that end, let's just jump into what are you guys going to do for the Kickstarter itself? Like, what you said you're going to be launching very soon.
Yes.
So what are the different backer levels, and I guess what is the baseline where you kind of get the stuff?
Okay. The baseline is going to be the app. If you want to give us money for free, that's on you. There will be that option, though. But the baseline is going to just be the app and PDFs of the target markers. And right now that we've put that at about $15, which sounds expensive for an app, but we're going to have at least, I believe, 30 different terrain pieces and I believe 5 monsters starting out. We're hopefully going to add more as if we get more money for the Kickstarter.
So to be clear, like if you were to go in at that level, you get the app and you get the PDFs. You print out the PDF targets and then you use them the same way you would a piece of cardboard or the ones that I've seen you guys using.
Yes, exactly the same.
So that doesn't seem expensive to me.
You have to cut it out yourself, but that's boom, you're done. You have it.
That does not seem expensive to me because you still have to pay for all the development and design that goes into it. And how many pieces come with that?
I believe we're gonna do 25 markers, but you can change them out in the app. So you can pick which markers are showing which stuff. So if you need a bunch of dragons, you just set up a bunch of dragons. Or if you need more buildings, you just set it up as buildings.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that sounds fairly reasonable. And what are the next levels?
Then after that, we're gonna make nice, professionally made cards. That a big thing that's an issue with why we like paper is if there's any kind of glare, it can screw with the phone's camera or the device's camera. So up from that, we're gonna have professionally printed cards. And then beyond that, we're going to add in, those mixed reality goggles. So you can just slip your phone in and just look through your phone and see stuff. Another thing we're going to add, though, is a Game Masters pack where you get one of the app, but you get 5 headsets with it. So one for the Game Master and all the players. So the Game Master can pay a little more, but have the stuff for their players. All the players need is the app.
The app itself, after the Kickstarter finishes and launches, is that going to be a paid app, a free download?
You'll pay the $15 and you'll get the app.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do the freemium thing. We just want to get the app. If we have a big expansion for it, we'll probably charge a little bit for that. But any updates we do to the app, any fixes we make, you'll get that.
Okay. So Cody Sams wants to know, I may have missed this, but do you plan to support VR platform like Vive? I have no idea what that is.
We're doing mixed reality. We're planning on doing mixed reality with it. So yes, I guess we will be. If there's a camera on that VR headset, it'll work. But you have to be able to see the table as well as the trackers in it.
So it sounds like the answer is maybe, depending on how that stuff all works.
He's talking about exactly.
Yeah. TrueMate wants to know: is there a limit to the size of the AR landscape? Probably as much stuff as you can put down, right? And the range of the camera.
Yeah, as much as you can fit in the camera, and we also have it to where it remembers where you put stuff, so you can look away and then look back, and it'll still be there. So you can get quite a bit out there. Now, I think if you threw everything down and like had it overlapping each other, you might screw the phone up a little bit. It might not like what you're doing. But yeah, it can. You should be able to put out all 25 trackers and be good to go. Or 20. Can't remember what number we're going with at the moment. Off the top of my head, sorry.
DM Dom wants to know: are they liquid? It's right now. It's paper or whatever you guys upgrade to.
Yes, it'll be a nice, more durable paper type thing.
So, TrueMate wants to know: does laminating the cards have any negative effects? Our table is prone to spillage. I would say glare. If glare is a problem, then laminating is a problem.
Yes, laminating is an issue. So, yeah, we're gonna look into that, try to figure out what's the issue. But if you're just using the paper ones, oh no, it got destroyed. Good thing I printed out 4 more. Printing's cheap these days, so it's not an issue if something happens to one tracker potentially.
So this is kind of an interesting question, but I don't really know what you would do. The one lazy guy wants to know, what's your thoughts about possibly making this app accessible for people with disabilities? Visual disability would be the only one to worry about, I guess, speaking from personal experience. But, it's a very visual thing, so I don't really know what you could possibly do, and I'm speaking from pure ignorance, so... Frankly, I'm not creating it. I don't have to worry about that. That's on you.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that, too, as of right now. I hadn't thought of it really before. I mean, I'm not sure what exactly someone who's visually impaired would need. If you're talking about wearing the headsets, and if you can't wear contacts, you might be out of luck there. So I don't really know on that front of things.
Well, you know what? Actually, it doesn't matter. It's not that it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter right now because now someone has asked the question and now you can think about it.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
You can talk to different people with visual impairments and see, hey, what would help you? We had Devin Rue on here, who is a fantastic cartographer and a map maker, who actually is visually impaired, but her impairment is she doesn't see 3-dimensionally. She only sees in 2D. So, like, one of the things that she said...
That could kind of help for map making, I think.
Well, that's what she's kind of said. She's like, I kind of draw the world the way I see it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's problematic when you're going through life because, like, oh, there's a step down, but it looks flat to you. So...
Yeah, so I guess we would need to get it in the hands of people who have that impairment and see what they're seeing and see if there's any kind of fix we can do. If we have to like scrap everything and rebuild it, we might, we might try to look for a good option that works for everyone.
Yeah. Well, it might be a question to put out on social media for people and for, for them to give you feedback. Even, probably even without even looking at the app, I'm sure there's some certain things people are going to be able to just tell you to be like, oh, well, this is a problem or that is a problem in my experience. Yeah. So, I don't know, just something to be aware of. Next level 88 plans to make some kind of an overlay for streaming. That would be fun for people to watch and use. Yeah, actually, that's a place where it would really excel, is because, you could. I don't know. I guess because I don't know if how that will work, but I feel like that would be a much fluid experience than at the table itself.
Yeah, I mean, we can just take the models we've made and move them into a virtual space. I know there are people working on like, the virtual tables, like the virtual reality D&D stuff. I think y'all shared some of those videos a while ago, and it looked really cool. But me as a gamer, I play a lot of online games. I play a lot of online games through the NAG page, but there's something about being at a table with friends that we want to promote as well.
No, absolutely. I would think it'd be easy, like it's almost at a certain point they're almost just like art assets, but the question would be like if you're using a virtual tabletop, does the virtual tabletop itself support that kind of technology? That would be the real issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I know for us, we are looking at, we've had some people who stream games reach out to us, and I guess if they wanted to stream with the miniatures out there, they would just need a extra device on like a tripod looking at the table set up to show the models getting moved around.
Yeah, like its own window.
Exactly. Yeah. So you'd have like maybe an overview or like kind of over the shoulder of the game master or something view.
So this question will kind of incorporate what Comrade had just asked, and he'd asked about Samsung. Are you going to be doing both Google and Apple?
Yes. Yeah. We've got it. I've got a Samsung phone. It works on that. Um, we're also we're working on iPhone right now. iPhone's the tricky one. Any programmer will let you know iPhone's always a little tricky getting the app over, but we're working through that right now. So we're getting it ported.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's so much that it's tricky, but you have people that are Google developers and you have people that are Apple developers, and from me talking to different developers, rarely does one person do both. Yeah. You know, it's either or. So you always have to bring in someone else. And the trick, from what I understand, is not just taking your Google app and trying to cram it into an Apple, but actually almost having to rebuild it up from the bottom so that it works for that device.
Yeah, and that's almost our plan. We're gonna just now. I don't want to get into technical stuff, but we've got it. We got a plan.
we got a plan. The question is it a cunning plan?
Very cunning plan.
So, DEC7M2, when the monsters are ready by the app, could it trigger something like a monster cry?
Sound effects? Is that what he's asking?
I don't know if he's asking sound effects or if if there can be triggers like there's the dragon, now the dragon breathes fire, or well, and you did kind of say like something happens now the buildings are burning.
Yeah, we can add we got two options we can do to add those kinds of effects. We can add you can actually put buttons on the cards. So like we put a little square down here, you tap that and the phone will register somebody tapped the button on the card and it can activate something. Or we can put something on the phone that you can hit and make something happen.
I guess it would be kind of cool to like if you could do like if there was say a main device and from the main device you could trigger these things.
Yeah. I believe we're going to add that to our stretch goals is making the devices interconnectable. Now that is one of our higher stretch goals because that is very tricky getting Bluetooth and all that working correctly on old devices, linking a Samsung to an iPhone to hold that. But we definitely that is something we want to do is get that interconnectability and give more power to the game master potentially to do things.
So Zaref Gaming, any chance you can change the settings to Switch Minis?
Yes. Yeah. We're not starting with minis like as in like your little character. That is something we want to get to. But we're going with the size targets we are now because they're more reliable than smaller targets are. So we don't have your characters just yet. Okay, I thought you froze there for a second.
No, I'm sorry. I was just reading the chat and listening.
But yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a sec. But yeah, so so you will be able to switch out what monsters are there, what buildings are there, but you'll still have to have your own little mini that you use for your own characters at the moment. Where as the technology improves, we'll keep bringing the size of the trackers down.
So, I guess Zaref wants to know: will it work with newer phones only, or do you guys know like okay, this is what the specifications are?
I'm trying to remember the I got a we got a test device, like the lowest tier that we knew would work, and it was like um a tablet, an Android tablet with like a 5K camera on it. So it's not, and it was less than $200, I believe. It was like 129, I think. So it's a for a device like that, pretty cheap. You can't play on a Razor, but pretty much any modern smartphone, we're gonna get it capable for. We're not going to, yeah, and we're gonna. I know we're working on putting in settings in the app, so you can, if you're on a lower level device or something, you can turn things down a little bit so you don't crash your phone.
So you got someone in the chat. Is that the tech guy or not the tech guy?
I'm not 100% sure which one
Oh,
took the helm. And I told them, don't message me right now. I don't want
yeah.
getting bothered. So we're all educated on this stuff. I mean, so whomever it is, they know their stuff.
Yeah. Well, an expert is an expert, though. So like more specific, like the specifications. Like I would expect that person to know more so than someone that's handling the other stuff. I'm sure you have other things cluttering your brain.
Yeah.
to memorize specs, but so yeah, the questions are still coming in, and Fenris World Eater, Windows Phone app. I know it's dead platform, but I love my Windows Phone.
Yeah. I think we talked about Windows, making sure it worked for that too. So I want to say that came up, and I want to say we're gonna if for some reason your thing's not capable or you can't use it, like send us a message. We'll try to get it working when we release the app. We want to be there for the community. And if you go to our Facebook page, I think we've responded to just about every comment except for like the "Hey friends, look at this." I think those are the only comments we don't respond to. Or if you send us a message, we'll talk to you. We'll ask us any questions. We'll try to give you a good response, as long as it's not ridiculous. Like, hey, can you share your code and models and everything with me? No, like we're still working on it. Give us a second, but we'll answer any questions you have.
So what are some of the things you would like to see it do, as the not programmer guy? Like if and not having to worry about that stuff and make it happen.
I just, as a game master, I want to be able to like have those big terrain pieces, those big monsters, and just be able to set up my own scene that I want, how I want it. And if I'm going somewhere else to play, I don't want to like carry all my stuff with me. Like, and I know recently I was in a game. I was actually a player, and we got a boat, and I was really excited about this boat we got. And so I went home and I made a boat. I think I posted it on the NAG page. I was really proud of that boat. Just cardboard, some felt for the sail. It was great. And then we run that session, and we get a bigger boat. And it's just like, I built this boat, and now we're not using the boat anymore because they have a bigger, better boat. Dang it. And so I want to be able to go like, eventually I know we're going to eventually work on an ocean scenery pack. And I want to just go, oh, we got a bigger boat from those pirates. Tap a button. Boom. Bigger boat.
So will you be able to like dungeon forge stuff? Or like Dwarven Forge stuff where you lay out a card, right, and it's the dungeon passage. Then they go a little further. You lay out another card and kind of like build out a dungeon.
That is something we want to look into. We're not going that direction at the moment. Mm-hmm. We are going to have some, we're calling like floor mats, where we have one that's you just throw it out on the table we're making, and it'll be a dungeon that you can go through, and it'll all be set up and everything. Or we have one that's a town already made, but right now we're not we haven't made that dungeon capability yet, but we do want to do that. One of our models that we showed in a promo video showing off what we've done was a dungeon that you can put out, and you put out the tracker and the walls pop up. So you have the various rooms.
Yeah, to me, it just seems like it would be kind of easy to do modular dungeon pieces that you could kind of put together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's getting the making sure it all lines up correctly, getting the cards to interact with each other. It might not lock in as well as you would want. There might be a little staggeredness if you don't line them up exact.
The dwarf that built it was drunk. What do you want?
This is shoddy work for dwarves.
Yeah, humans must have did this. So next level 88, possibility of adding your own custom editions, such as an STL file from Hero Forge or something to put your mini in 3D AR.
That will be something we're gonna definitely add later on, but a big thing that we want, at least initially, is we want all the targets, the art, to be unified. We want it to all fit together. You don't want to have, we don't want it to be like modding for Skyrim, where you have like Master Chief over here, then Mickey Mouse and a mud crab with a monocle, and it just kind of gets ridiculous. At least in the beginning, we want to have a unified look and feel.
That makes sense, and I could see like releasing theme packs. Like initially, you guys are going to do like a village and some monsters, but it would make sense to like kind of go thematically from there. Like maybe you release a pack that's spell effects, so the D can throw out, oh, boom, look, this is what you guys see, and you look through it, and
Fireball.
Yeah, Fireball, or Edward's Black Tentacles, or whatever.
Yeah. I know one thing, if you're the monster or piece you're dying to have, some of the higher level Kickstarter reward tiers, you can tell us what you want us to make.
Nice. Do you know what the higher tiers are going to be as far as the buying in?
Highest level, they get pretty high up there. I know at least one of the levels to get stuff made is like 500, but you get like you get some like a custom model made that like fits in the app. We're not gonna like let you like, oh, I want something inappropriate or something that just does not fit in the world. Like, we want to get something that other people will enjoy as well.
Okay.
But we will work with you, and we'll let you. We'll give you plenty of freedom to tell us what you want us to make.
So also, some of the questions in the chat are being answered by your crew, but I'm going to actually call them out anyway, just so when people watch later on. So TrueMate, are there multi-state options, open chest, lock chest, outside house, inside house, fire peasant, not on fire peasant? And yes, that seems to be one of the stretch goals.
Mm-hmm. I know we are going to have some building interiors that we're going to try to put out as well.
Okay, nice. So,
but we want to start with something that we can do and we can do well. Like, that's the reason why we haven't done our Kickstarter yet. We're about to start it because we wanted to make sure we had a quality product. We had something the community would want. We wanted to be able to reach out to the community and kind of get some feedback, get what they like, what they don't like, before we go to Kickstarter. We do not want to be one of those Kickstarters that takes your money and then says, oh, no, we can't actually do this. We need more money. We're not going to be those guys. Not.
Well, that's always nice to know. I also think, like, for out of the gate, too, you want to go with what's going to be most universal for a GM at the table, for getting things started as well. What are the pieces that are going to be used the most often? So, like, that is actually the approach that I would go with.
Yeah.
Functionality, and then you can kind of add that other stuff later on.
Yeah, and with those expansion packs, we can definitely make it where it's, if you never play any sci-fi games, and so you don't have to get any of the extra sci-fi stuff, but you're doing a lot of post-apocalypse stuff, we can add in some post-apocalypse stuff if that's what people want, or ocean games, or an entire campaign in the Underdark. Maybe we can figure something out for there. Like we want to expand, we want to grow. This isn't the end. That's another thing. We want to expand this out.
Will you be able to? I don't know if you thought about this, or maybe it's already planned or whatever. But can you do double-sided cards?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why we couldn't. It would just it'd just be a different thing on the backside. So I guess I'm kind of thinking about that now. We haven't really discussed that too much, because we potentially thought maybe the game master wants to lay out a scene and have the cards face down, and then flip them over as the party moves through something, so they don't know what they're going to run into. That was our idea right now, of leaving the back of them blank so you could hide them. But yeah, I mean, we could potentially do double-sided cards, so when you flip it, like, it goes from, potentially we could do the outside of the building, and then you flip it, you have the interior, or things like that.
I was just thinking as far as like space and storage, and I mean, not that they're particularly big anyway.
Yeah. Whichever one of my teammates is in the chat, write that down.
And like you said, it may not be as practical, as it sounds, because like you said, it might be better to have the blank side where people.
That's something that we've I've been a big part of, is coming at it from someone who's going to be using this perspective, someone who's been at the table or had like a white dry erase board to draw my maps on, and figuring out what do I want in the game, what helps me be a better game master, no matter what game I'm playing.
So one of the things you had, I think you said earlier, was on the YouTube channel, you guys want to do some like how to use these.
Yeah, and just kind of, it's not, I don't want to say how to, it would just be recommendations and how we use them and how we've incorporated them. And then as other people use them and play with them, we want to know how they do it. Like, we would love it if y'all would, get it in y'all's hands and y'all play around with them, see what y'all like, what they work for, what they don't work for, different things like that.
So for me, I'm kind of thinking about it, and how I might want to use it, and I'm thinking like around the space that is typically the battle grid where things are going on. I'm seeing in my mind, a bunch of phones on tripods, just kind of like pointed at the space. So everyone is at the table like this, holding up a phone in front of them.
Tripod's an easy fix to having to hold your phone there, but also just you can easily if you like look at your phone, you figure out where's everything, you can put your phone down and you'll still have the image in your head of, all right, that's the house, that's the demon, that's this.
Well, I was thinking for kind of like from the immersion aspect. Mm-hmm. Like, so if everyone got like, and they're really cheap. I actually just have, there it is right in front of me. These tripods laying around, like, they're cheap. You can get them. Everyone could just set it up and just leave their. Also, it would actually do two things. One, people would be off their phones at the table. Yeah. Two is you could almost everyone sets up their phone and you can role play and you're doing your thing, and then the DM is like, okay, and this happens, and he puts out the cards. And then you just look down through the phones and you kind of get the view.
Another thing that we like is, again, we made sure that this could do, is being able to play offline. That was one of our hard lines. You do not have to be on the internet to use this. You can have your entire table put their phones on airplane mode. In fact, that was going to be a very short how-to, and it's like how to keep your players from being distracted by their phones. And then we would like go into our app and put it on airplane mode. We'd be like, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been Stag.
So Cody Sams wants to know what are the chances of any of this being open source or having community portal where people could share map designs and such. So
Yeah, that is something we probably gonna do down the road, um, and just because we do want to build this community and everything around us.
yeah, I guess like part of the problem with that is too, like any business, you have to figure out how you're going to monetize
Right.
and make money and be able to afford to actually do the business and make a living. So,
Hmm.
the idea of us giving everything away for free is very counterintuitive to things like living.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't think anyone has a problem with it. We've gotten every time we put out one of our videos, there's somebody who posts that meme of Fry holding money and shut up and
Uh,
take my money. So I think everyone's fine with it. And if we do an open source through our app, um, we'll still they still have to use our app to, see the stuff maybe they put in or their friend put in. Um, but yeah, I think the other thing that we would have to figure out with that is um, getting those packs into the phone so they can be played offline potentially, things like that. So that would be something we'd have to work out on our own and figure out. I don't want to say a marketplace, but a place when we get there down the road and all that, if we go that route. Um,
First, the Kickstarter.
yeah, one step at a time. I don't want to be promising too much. I'm promising the Kickstarter. I'm promising the app. I'm promising the models we have. Everything else is up in the air. Things we're open to the community and working with the community on and talking with y'all.
So now you've mentioned community. Where are you going to put this community? Do you guys have a Discord or?
Right now, we're just using Facebook.
Okay.
Maybe as we grow, I know we're gonna eventually get a website up and running. Sell any merch that people might want on there. If they got the app but not the cards, we can put the cards on our website eventually, and all that kind of stuff. And we can and we'll have an email and stuff. People can reach out to us too. Right now we're just using that email for more business side of things. So maybe we'll set up a community email where we just, again, people can send us an email, tell us what they're doing, send us a picture of how they're using it, all that kind of stuff. Because we want to. That is something I love about the role play community, the tabletop community, is how amazing it is. And that's one thing I like. A side effect of this project that I've loved is getting even deeper into the hobby, deeper into the community, and just talking with so many people about just the game they love.
Fenris World Eater says FB is Satan. Haven't you watched the news?
Yeah, I know that is a side effect of it. Is I get a lot less of my friends and news articles on my Facebook feed. It's all Dungeons and Dragons and like Warhammer and tabletop stuff right now. It's great.
Yeah, I actually campaigned a while ago to fill my news feed with cosplayers, alt models, and D&D and other gaming related stuff.
Yeah, as dark as Warhammer 40K is, it's not. It's for some reason it doesn't feel as dark as our world right now. Some days.
What are you gonna
At
do?
least
What are you
I
gonna
know
do?
that's not real.
So in your home group playing, are you guys starting to use this stuff already,
A little bit.
or are you still in development too much for that?
We're a little bit too in development for that. I have worked with them, and we've done a little bit playing around with it. Um, they enjoy it. They like it thus far. But yeah, like we missed the past. Well, this week we missed our game because one of us had a family. The game master had a family thing, and then the week before that, it wouldn't have really been useful because we took over a town with political intrigue. We got a new player involved, and and she's kind of new and figuring it out. And I was like, all right, and one guy was missing. So I was like, tonight is your game. What do you want us to do? And the game master was like, y'all can take over the town. She's like, yes, let's take over the town. I'm like, why are female players always so nefarious? It's like, why can't we just go kill some monsters? Why do we have to do all this like complicated stuff? I just want to go kill something. Fine, we'll take over the city.
It happens. So, it happens.
I mean, with a political intrigue game, the trackers wouldn't have really done too much for it. But yeah, other game nights, it would be, we're definitely gonna start involving it more and more and try to put that out.
Have you taken it around to other people, and off of the internet and said, "Hey, look at this," and what kind of response have you gotten there?
Yeah, they it's really great. I'm working with he's a small business advisor, but will hopefully become big business maybe. But he's been amazed with it. I've taken it to various gaming groups, and it's been like, as soon as I show it, it's like, I need that. Like I want to use it for this. Like, as soon as they see it, usually they're like, that would work perfect for X, Y, and Z. Or it's, could you make it do this? Because I need it to do this. And it's stuff, and it's usually things that we're planning on doing down the road, but it's always like that. Everyone likes how it's going to be so convenient and so easy to take with them. If you're going to play at a game store, having a bunch of minis is okay. You can throw those in a box, but terrain pieces, that's where you struggle a lot of the time.
Oh, Cody Sam's asking us tough questions.
Ooh.
I'll get to that one in a minute. But no, the reason why I asked that question, because there's a big difference between using the interface and seeing how it works through, holding your phone and looking at it, and you guys kind of putting the finished product up on in your stream where it looks really cool, but we're looking at it, in a video, not it like this is throw out my phone kind of deal.
Yeah, and there's still the version I have. Our developer hasn't sent me over the newest version, so the version I have, it can be a tad wonky, but like once the phone registers the piece, like you sometimes might have to like get a better angle on the piece right now, but we're working on that. You get the angle on the piece on all the pieces you have out, and then you're good. It remembers where they are. You can look away, look back. It works really well, and everyone enjoys playing with it. And it's always like, that I will say, the first time you bring it out, people are probably going to be distracted by it a little.
Yeah.
And just like, they're going to want to just look at it for a bit and just be like, whoa, like, be looking around it, like seeing what all it can do. But once you get past that, it'll just become a part of your game.
Okay, so you're saying the phone remembers too, the app remembers what you just looked at. How long does that memory stay for?
A good while. And we've put it on the buildings, not the monsters. Because if you take a building piece and you move the tracker, the building stays in the same place for a bit. And then if the phone can re-register, it'll jump back. But for the monsters, you can just move them around.
That makes sense.
And yeah, so it's working well.
So Cody Sam's asks, like I said, it's a tough question, but it's actually a good one, an important one. So if someone's watching this later on, and they might have the same question.
Right.
And that is Dev's obligatory question. Will our data be part of your revenue stream?
No. Look, we don't want your data. We just want, like, you buy the app, end of transaction, unless you go to, like, if we set up a marketplace or something on the app, then you'll have to maybe have a login, but even then it's just, you could just put in your stuff. But we're not, no, God, ew, gross. We don't want your data. Ew. I care about you, but not that much. Like, yeah, no,
it is big business.
We're paranoid people too. We hate our data being taken. I know we have, pieces of tape over our webcams and all that. We're not those people. We don't, no. Just hardcore no.
Don't worry, just everywhere else on the internet is going to be stealing your data.
Yeah, we won't. Everyone else might be.
No, and that's fine. I think anytime you do anything like this is definitely a good question to address. People are very concerned about it, but it's it's funny because we are giving our data away all the time, our data all the time, and it's funny what people will post on Facebook, and then they're worried about their data being taken. So I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. When you go shopping at the grocery store, listen, if you don't pay for everything with cash, your data is everything you do in your life is being tracked. Just know that. Unless you leave the grid, it's impossible. Yeah. They're watching, and they know.
We might have a login, but the most we would probably ask for is like your email, and then the only thing we would do with your email is send emails from us about other cool things we might be doing. But again, you can be like, don't do that. That's the most we might do.
So with that, where else we want to go? I don't see any more questions right now. Is there anything else you want to go over? Any thoughts? Your favorite part of this thing?
I guess my favorite part of this is on the just doing this side is just getting deeper into the hobby, getting deeper into the community, getting to do stuff like this. Like, yes. I just and y'all know I've been a huge fan and everything for a while. Do y'all not do roll call anymore?
We got to a certain point and it was like there was too many people watching.
Fair enough.
So we kind of killed it, and then over the couple past weeks, something changed, and for some reason, the numbers have crashed a little bit. So we're experimenting with some things to get them back up.
I know if they're in university, they might be in finals right now.
Yeah.
So that could be the drop, but I don't know.
I think it's more like an algorithm, evil corporate thing, personally. But
darn it, YouTube.
Yeah.
It's all that political content y'all put out.
So, are you planning? You guys planning to hit any of the conventions?
That is something we are hoping to do. One step at a time again. But if the Kickstarter goes well, yes, we're going to be at the conventions as much as possible. Showing off. Maybe if we're doing some other new stuff, showing that off as well. I know. We actually got invited to like a future tech gaming convention in like Sweden. Now we got invited. They're not gonna send us over there, so we don't know if we're gonna have the money to go. But we'd love to do that. Also, we are thinking about maybe after the Kickstarter going around to a bunch of like gaming stores, at least in Texas, and just showing off our product, talking to people. Anything like that.
Cody Sams wants to know, will there be an alpha or early beta sign-up list?
No, I think we're...
I think that's called the Kickstarter?
Yeah, there'll be probably a small beta stage. Right now, the timeline is going to be a month after the Kickstarter. We might have a beta testing period in there, but we're beta testing it ourselves right now. We still have to make sure we have all of our legal ducks in a row before we start throwing this app out to everyone. We're gonna do about a month after the Kickstarter. We're gonna make sure that app's out to you, and then a month after that, we'll make sure these are at least timelines. A month after that, we'll make sure if you've got cards or any other stuff from us, we'll make sure you have that, and then hopefully a month after that, we'll hopefully have, if you bought a custom model to be made, we'll have that done as well. So that's our rough timeline.
So is there anything you can do with the app without the cards?
Not at the moment. Okay. But again, that is something we knew is if we tried to charge for the cards, people would just steal them. So we're just like, we'll probably just maybe put a thing on our website after the Kickstarter. You can just get the PDFs, because we're not going to fight people taking the cards.
Right. Well, the only reason I ask is because because the way the way you said the release schedule is going to go. So I mean, it doesn't actually matter whether the app comes out, 2 months or 1 month.
You'll be able to print the cards out once you get the app going and everything. So you're good there.
That I guess that's what I was getting at.
And those are our like maximum time limit, I guess. We'll hopefully be getting stuff out as fast as we can.
So Mighty Hobbs, question may have been already asked. It kind of was asked, and he's asking about the ability to make your own cards, animated cards, and that's the question was asked about open source, and that's what that would kind of be.
Yeah, it wouldn't be you wouldn't make your own card. You would make the model, and then put your stuff on our card. Pretty much, that would be how it would work if we go down that route.
Yeah, so that'd be interesting to see where that goes. I don't know. Maybe you guys can do your own version of the DMs Guild, where people could, like you said, a marketplace where people could kind of, would be able to sign up and use it.
Yeah, I mean, we will, keep expanding our team as our needs grow as a group, and all that, and as we get into more projects. I know we kind of got on this originally. Real quick, I guess we don't have much time, but an initial concept we have was for a mech suit game with the augmented reality, and a big part of the app was going to be, or I guess hopefully will be if we when we revisit that, was being able to, if you change out the weapon on your mech, you can just go in. You get a drop down of the weapons you have, you tap the weapon you want to use, and now your mech has a new weapon. And you can just customize your mech on the fly, and it was going to be a big part of the game. Paint jobs, all that.
Oh, nice. So that might be something people can look forward to in the future.
That is we want to keep growing. This is not the end. We want to keep doing more.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to see what you guys come up with for sure. Yeah. So I guess we are coming up on the hour. If you want to parting words for folks watching.
Yeah, come check us out. We're STAG, Southern Transatlantic Gaming. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube. Keep in touch. We have our Kickstarter coming up here in just a few days. We're extremely excited, and we would love to have your support.
And what is that launch date?
The 6th is what we're going for. Yeah, and we'll definitely try to get something out to y'all so y'all can maybe make a video, try it out, let us know what's up if y'all are interested.
Oh, cool. We'll check it out, and definitely once it launches, let us know. We will put it on the Kickstarter corner so people can help get the word out and make people aware. So folks, go into the description and you can follow them on YouTube and Facebook for the latest updates. And stay tuned to Nerdarchy because I'm sure we'll be talking about it as the stuff comes out. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thank y'all for having me. I've been a fan for years. I think I've met with everyone else on the Nerdarchy team but you in some kind of chat.
Yeah. We've played in at least one game together.
Yes, but I didn't have a webcam. I was in the car with my family.
Yeah, it was very guerrilla style. I was very impressed. Yeah. But with that, thanks everyone for hanging out with us, and until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.